Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. We're gonna get some snow. I'm kind of excited. Good show tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Splash Mountain closing over the weekend. Some thoughts on that. We're also going to talk a little bit about news and notes from the past week and get you primed and ready for another episode of the DPI Top 3, which will be coming at you again tonight. Who knows what our show is going to be about? Who knows what the DPI Top 3 is going to be about? It's all up to the bag. We'll see you guys here in about 2 minutes. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. We're going to have some fun tonight. Start off with a few new things, and we got some new subscribers over the past couple of days, all private over on YouTube, so we're up to 312 subscribers over on YouTube right now, which is pretty awesome. And then I have no clue where Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel went. He was there, and then he's gone now. He's going to be joining us tonight. We're going to have a DPI Top 3. And we've got some other fun with some news and notes and some other stuff going on. So I'm going to talk a little bit, get you kind of ready. I'll let Peter kind of come on when he gets his stuff set up. But wanted to start off by talking about the Splash Mountain stuff. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and just drop this stuff down over here. And we'll see what goes on with him as he loads back up. But I'm gonna go and get on. Let's let's do this. Because Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel is going to join us here in a second. He's going to be over on that screen. But I'm going to start talking about Splash Mountain. So Splash Mountain closed at the Magic Kingdom over the weekend. Opened since 1992, I believe. 1995. And it's closing for a refurbishment. It's not closing forever. It's closing for a refurbishment. And people lost their freaking minds about this. And you saw it a little bit when they closed down Maelstrom and made Frozen Ever After. But this was different. And a lot of the reason it was different is when Disney announced the change. Disney announced the change at a very strange time in our society. Kind of right after the riots of 2020, and it was received by a lot of people that Disney was pushed into making this change. In all reality, I think it was a change that Disney was going to make no matter what, but it ended up looking a lot different than that to a lot of people. And therefore, you got this whole Save Splash Mountain group that was kind of out there. Going as far as wanting to lobby the governor to designate Splash Mountain as a historical landmark so it could not be changed. So, with that being said, it's now 2023. So, let's say year and a half after the announcement, Splash Mountain closed over the weekend on Sunday. At the end of the night, it had over a 3-hour wait, about a 3.5-hour wait when the park closed for people to ride it. They actually had to close the ride, and I'm surprised there hasn't been video that's come out about people fighting about who was going to be the last to ride Splash Mountain in its current form. Disney did the right thing. Disney let the cast members that worked Splash Mountain to close that night. They let them have the last rides on Splash Mountain, and then rounded up the people that were kind of straggling around to watch the last ride and video it and get all that clout, and closed down the park about 2:05 on Monday morning. It is what it is. Go on eBay. You can see the idiocracy that's going on with people trying to sell jars of Splash Mountain water. They understand it's going to probably be the same water when it opens as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I don't know. To me, huge, overblown situation. Bayou Adventure is going to be awesome as long as Disney puts in the effort and doesn't make it a projector-heavy, projector-reliant attraction. If they take the time, do the animatronics, and really give this ride a second life, I think it's going to be extended well beyond the next 30 years with this new state. Really surprised. There he is. He's back. I don't know where you went. All of a sudden you were gone.
I've been here the whole time you talked about Splash Mountain.
Oh, hey. So, with that being said, Peter, what are your thoughts about Splash Mountain?
You and I have talked about it in the past. I am a huge fan of Splash Mountain in its, what we can say now is previous form. I have a lot of nostalgia, as the very first time I went to Disney World was shortly after the creation of Splash Mountain. So my very first trip was shortly after Splash Mountain opened. And so it's kind of like always been a part of my trips to Disney World. One of our more favorite family rides, because it did boast a whopping almost 5-minute ride time. It was wonderful to get into the cool, between the water, the cool of the indoor, the fun drop. Like, it's just a fantastic ride to be on a 95-degree day in Disney World. All of that said, I have also expressed my support for the retheme, as I think it's going to be really, really cool to take. The ride's not going to change in the same way that Frozen Ever After is literally the Maelstrom, like
with an overlay.
Right,
yeah.
Every bit of it. The ride is going to be equally as awesome, but now you take it and you bring it into this generation's understanding of Disney IP. And like, the only reason my kids knew who Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox and Brer Bear were was because they rode Splash Mountain.
Yeah, like, it wasn't because Song of the South.
Right, 100%. But at the same time, they only knew about it because I had to explain who Brer Fox, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear were, and Brer Toad and Brer Bird and Brer. Like, the first time that we rode that ride, I had to explain, oh yeah, it's from this kind of obscure Disney movie that isn't really, shown anymore. But it's just kind of fun because it's this whimsical story. And now anybody from this generation or the next generation who walks into the park is immediately going to know who Tiana is. There aren't going to be any conversations of, hey mom, where's this from? What? It's Princess and the Frog. And then my other point was, I'm glad they're doing it, because when you get down to it, this makes the most sense with obviously Tiana being kind of on the bayou. It's the easiest one to sort of reface, if you will. And Tiana's the only American Disney princess. All the other ones are from Germany and France and all these European countries, over into Asia as you go to China and everything.
Yeah.
Tiana grew up in Louisiana and New Orleans, and then she married Prince Naveen. And so now she is a princess. And she's the only Disney princess that was born in America. So
my whole question about this movie is, when did New Orleans get a prince?
No, he's not from New Orleans. He came to New Orleans looking for money because his parents cut him off because of his ways of debauch. Pay attention to the storyline of the movie, man.
All right, so let's get back on the train here, and let's go ahead and start the timer for the news. And let's talk a little bit of news. The first thing I want to bring up is this huge Star Cruiser faux discount that they're doing right now. So explain that to the people on what Disney's doing with this.
So I literally had another email come across this today, and I was like, so dumb. So right, if you basically essentially a land and space vacation, right? Because like you can book a land and sea where you kind of joint your Disney Cruise Line over with your Walt Disney World stay, and so if you book a land and space stay, they'll give you $700 off your land stay of at least 2 nights.
Of at least 2 nights, yes.
So, we have talked about this before. It's a 2-night experience, but yet it comes in at the cost of approximately a 5 or 6 night cruise.
Yes.
So, if you want me and my family to go on it, I would be much more apt to pay the money if it was closer in line to like a 3-night cruise on Disney Cruise Line. So if I'm going to spend that amount of money, I might as well go on. Hell, I can go on a 3 to 4 night cruise and then do a stay at Disney World and still be at the Galactic Star Cruiser's cost.
Yeah, because you're right around $6,000 with a family of 4 on the Star Cruiser. And I mean, especially if you're going off season, you can do a 3-night cruise and 3 days at the park for cheaper than $6,000.
Yeah, or like right around that mark, right? So now, all that though, I have seen. I've had some clients go. I have had a friend go. I have seen tons and tons of stuff about it. Is it an amazing, unique, once in a lifetime experience? Yes, 100%. But I don't think Disney's in the business of creating things that are meant to be once in a lifetime. Yeah. Like it's priced itself out, and we've seen the repercussions. We've seen the trickle down of this. They've canceled a bunch of cruises that are taking place in the next 3 to 5 months. They have canceled out, almost one a week, definitely like 2 to 3 per month, to where they're recognizing that they just straight up don't have the capacity to run the whole show. So I don't know. I feel like we're going to get to a head at some point, and all of a sudden you're going to see drastic slashing, which you and I speculated from the very get-go a couple years ago. And that's why you and I haven't taken the Star Cruiser, because we're waiting for the drastic slashing. Yeah.
Let's move on to some happier news. We've got a start date for Flower and Garden now, March the 1st. And to me, it feels like Flower and Garden's going a little bit longer this year, and Food and Wine starting a little bit later because of that. So, talk a little bit about Flower and Garden.
So, I like the push back in the end date, because last year I felt that Food and Wine almost like overstayed its welcome. So, Flower and Garden is really cool, and here's what I love about Flower and Garden over Food and Wine. When Food and Wine starts midsummer, I would really rather like see all those awesome topiaries still.
Yeah.
Around, right? So, and that's what Flower and Garden brings in. Flower and Garden brings in tons and tons of topiaries that basically litter the World Showcase and even other areas around the park. And they provide these really unique photo opportunities. They're obviously Disney real, but they are really, really fantastic. And they just sort of, I don't know, the entire park just sort of seems kind of like upbeat and excited the entire time that Flower and Garden's going on. And then to the side of that, you have, I don't know, about 2/3 to 3/4 of the amount of food booths, except instead of these food booths celebrating world cuisine, the food booths are celebrating unique, locally sourced ingredients, unique, freshly grown, responsibly sourced ingredients. And so, you know, food and wine, there's only so many ways that you can represent the cheese bread from Brazil.
Yeah.
But over at Flower and Garden, it really, really gives the Imagineers and the people in charge of designing those festivals a lot more flexibility to really create changing menus and unique dishes for the people who are going to go and experience it. So,
yeah, and dates this year, March 1st through July 5th. So instead of ending at the end of June and then basically Food and Wine starting 4th of July weekend, Flower and Garden gets an extra week this year basically to kind of have its thing, which is nice because it kind of splits up summer break as well. So for those kids that, you know, that maybe the families don't want to go down during Food and Wine Festival because of it attracts a crowd. I mean, it does. And this gives people a little bit more time to get down there and enjoy the parks. And July 4th around the parks is really, really cool. So this kind of gives a different flair to, you know, Epcot and being at the Magic Kingdom for July 4th as well. Also coming for the first time, you're going to have a photo op with topiaries of Mirabelle, Antonio, Isabella, and Luisa from Disney's Encanto, as well as a lot of the fan favorite topiaries returning. So,
speaking of topiaries, did you see that the 16-foot Te-Fiti topiary is in place now in the Moana Journey of Water area?
Yeah, I was actually going to cover your face with the video of it.
Oh.
So, cool, but yeah, as Peter said, the 16-foot topiary of Te-Fiti is now in place. And they still really have never given us an open date for this. It is like the biggest mystery in Disney right now.
I don't think there's going to be, like, honestly, I think it's going to be one of those things where it's just sort of like, hey, it's open today. Right? Because what is it? It's literally like, it's literally cranking the nozzle on.
It's turning the water on, yeah.
On a water spigot. And then, ta-da, it's open.
All right. Cali Grill's changing its menu a little bit. It's offering a 3-course selection featuring contemporary market-inspired cuisine. And this is going to start on April the 1st. Reservations for this offering will start on January 31st. We've both been to Cali Grill with the 50th anniversary menu. I think it was good food at a really high price. Smaller portion sizes. I felt like when we went to Cali Grill prior to the 50th and when we went to Cali Grill on the 50th, it was like two completely different experiences. And I know your experience at Cali Grill had more to do with your service than it did your food.
Yeah.
But like when we went to Cali Grill before the 50th, I felt like all the serving sizes were a little bit bigger. Yeah, there was still a price. It's a high-end restaurant on Disney property, but it didn't have the, oh look, you get a paper 50th menu. This is a souvenir. You get to pay extra for this price that it does right now. This change is nice because it goes back to what Cali Grill kind of was before, and it was more of a market-inspired, menu changed a couple times throughout the week based on what they could get in fresh, that kind of thing. Menu, I think it's a good change. What are your thoughts?
All of the things you said are kind of my thoughts. And then, the 50th menu, the food was fantastic. It took us like 2.5 hours to have that meal. And that's just because we had to literally leave our dessert sitting on the table to then go out and watch the fireworks when we planned to be like paid and done and then just take an extra drink from the bar out to the terrace. And instead we were sitting there with like, it was 100% my server, because that individual did not have an urgent bone in their body. And it wasn't even like we were trying to be urgent. We just expected that when we sat down, we would have drinks within 5 minutes, which was apparently 15, and that we would order within 15 minutes, and apparently that was 40. And it was, so the food, though, was fantastic. And here's the thing about California Grill. It is always going to put out a fantastic food menu. It's just really a question mark of kind of like, what are the markups worth it that you were just talking about? So I'm excited. I don't know if we're going to make it down there when we go there. I don't know if we're going to make it over there with all the other things. Like Akershus has to happen. Oh, so excited to have Akershus back.
All right. Speaking of Epcot Auto Plaza Marquee will get a new look later this month. Starting today, character-themed parking lots will be added to include some of the heroes and sidekicks who represent concepts in Epcot. So Crush, Dory, Hey Hey, Moana, Rocket, Gamora, Wally, and Eve are going to be your new parking lot areas, and they're going to be divided into Earth and space. And he's gone. We lost him.
I'm still here.
Oh, you do not have a picture.
Oh. Well, keep talking. I'm still here.
Okay. So there you go.
I'm back.
Yeah, so...
My lights flickered, and then my camera shut off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh.
So just a new... there's a whole lot of bad there.
It out. Are you ready for this? This is wild. My camera's turning back on. My wife got home with my son from swim practice, and apparently my office has got to be on the same circuit as the garage.
Is the garage keep going out?
No, the garage door was going up and coming back down.
Huh.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's strange.
I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm here, though. I'll switch to my laptop camera if I need to, but I'm going to keep trouble. You just keep talking.
Okay.
And it's got to be over 15 minutes. I think you've went past the news again. Did you not start a timer?
We got 2 minutes and 33 seconds, so...
Oh, that's so much time. What else do you want to talk about?
So much time. Any guest can now book an accessible minivan regardless of need. I hate this. It's an accessible minivan for a reason. People that don't need the accessible minivan shouldn't be able to book them. Now, granted, there's no good way to filter that, but my friends at Quantum would agree with me that accessibility is something that Disney does real well, and the more that they offer it to people that don't need it, that benefit goes away really, really fast. So the accessible minivans would be for somebody that has a wheelchair, has a special needs stroller, something like that. Somebody that has a mobility disability, somebody that has an intellectual disability that needs a special vehicle. It's just so hard to put in place something that would be like hey, how do you describe your disability on the Lyft app so that they could differentiate between who needs one and who doesn't need one. Peter,
my garage theory is not paying off because now my camera's just straight up not turning on.
Battery issue, or are you not plugged into power?
I am. Keep talking. I'm here if you want me to weigh in
Yep.
on it.
I got you. Hold on. I'm gonna go to something else here. We're gonna
all of the fun elements and watching them come to life. Journey of Water is what's up, everyone? My name is Christopher with Walt Disney Imagineering, and we are here at Journey of Water inspired by Moana. So my day-to-day here involves walking all around the project site and keeping track of progress and capturing all of the fun elements and watching them come to life. Journey of Water is an exploration trail that allows you to follow the water cycle while also getting to know water itself and its fun, playful personality. And I really hope our guests walk away with a sense of stewardship towards water and all of our natural resources as well. We can't wait for you all to drop by later this year. What's up, everyone? My name is...
Well, news is getting ready to end, and I just ran the Journey of Water video over you. So,
Nice.
if you could please figure out your camera, because we need to get into the top 3.
I'm working on it.
He's working on it, folks.
He is.
It's always, you know, it's funny. It's always something, and
It really is. I don't even understand it because I'm totally and fully adequately prepared. And then, like last week, the battery was like, haha, I'm not holding a charge. And now today, the camera's like, no, you use your crappy MacBook camera. If this does not work, we're just going to go to the MacBook camera.
All right, here we go. We're going for something. Let's see. We got a little bit more time. Let's see if we have any more news. I don't think we have any more news. I'm going to go over to the actual page to see. Peace and Justice, Power and Control, lightsaber parts available at Hollywood Studios. Da 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 da. You got a camera in your face.
I do. The one that's not working.
What's this? Love is in the air, which only can mean one thing. Valentine's Day is almost here. Check out gift ideas that are sure to share the love. Hey.
All right. Quick, do the top 3.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into the DPI news show. Top 3. Here we go. Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey everybody, it's Matt with the DPI podcast, and I've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel with us tonight, and it is DPI Top 3 time. We have our bag of chips. I've got my thing of questions, and we are going to see what is going on. If you haven't been here before, DPI Top 3 is our fun... You said the tape thing again. Our fun take on different Disney topics, and it's a random draw almost every week. I'm not going to say every week anymore because there's been a few weeks that it's been. But topics from last week was our favorite Disney smells. We've done favorite value restaurants, favorite resorts to explore. We've done all kinds of things. So tonight's number is number 17. Let's see if we can get that in focus. There it is, 17. So let's see what number 17 is, and then we're going to have 20 seconds here to figure out what we're doing. This is a good one. I might need to do some research because I don't know the names. Our favorite alcoholic drinks at Walt Disney World.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. All right. I just got to go to one restaurant and look at their cocktail menu.
You've got 20 seconds now.
20. That's not.
Planning your first trip and getting overwhelmed by all the details? Planning your next trip and just want some new suggestions on things you haven't tried? Contact me at Princess and the Mouse Travel, and I'd love to work with you planning your next trip to the most magical place on earth.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. All right. So we're back.
This is an impossible topic. Why would I know the names of these things off the top of my head? If anything, I would be very, very concerned that I know the names of the drinks off the top of my head. Like, what are we trying to portray on this show, Matthew?
We are building a character reference for our trials in the future is what we're doing, right?
We said alcoholic drinks, right? That was the stipulation?
Alcoholic drinks.
All right. I can give you my number 3, which is probably my number 1, but I'm going to use it as a way to find the names of the other drinks I'm thinking of.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. So my apparently number 3, but it would honestly, this is the first thing that came to my head, is so I am going to actually start with the Schaffenheffer Grapefruit Hefeweizen. So that beer, which, I mean, you can get it around, like I can get it at Meijer now and everything else like that, but that beer is synonymous with drinking at Disney for me for a couple of reasons. It is just, so it's a grapefruit Hefeweizen beer, obviously, as the name says. So it's got a little bit of tart, but a little bit of sweet, and it's a nice, smooth wheat beer. So on a 90-plus degree day, when you're tugging the backpack along because you're the dad of the family, and you've got sweat dripping down your back crack, boy, having one of those in your hand is just fantastic. And you can get them in Germany and Epcot in a 16-ounce. There's also a secret. It is the snack cart right next to the entrance to the Olaf, and the Mickey and Minnie short in Hollywood Studio is the other place that you can get this beer. And you can also get it at a couple other restaurants. But I am a huge fan of going and grabbing one of those as I work my way around the back side of the World Showcase. And it is absolutely wonderful. So, Schaffenheffer, Grapefruit, Hefeweizen, my drink of choice at Walt Disney World.
Okay, so my number 3 is going to be, you can get it a couple of different places, but it's the Mexico Pavilion, basically. So where it comes from is La Cava Tequila. You can get it at La Hacienda de San Angel. You can get it at the San Angel Inn. It is the spicy blood orange margarita. Yeah, it fantastic drink. Got a Cajun spice salt around the rim, and then a good hearty blood orange margarita. Fantastic drink. Like I said, you can get it a few different places, but La Cava is the best experience if you have a chance to go in there and just have a couple of drinks in there. Just a great experience there. So my number 3 is the spicy blood orange margarita. So let's go ahead and get to our number 2s.
Okay, I'm going to do a number 2, but you know what my number 1 is. And I swear, I go first. So, never mind. All right, so here's my number 2. It is also going to be found in Epcot. And my number 2 is found in the Rose and Crown Pub. All right? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, you're looking up a menu to find it.
Yeah, I'm on a menu right now.
Okay, your eyes were like darting everywhere.
And I can't find what I'm looking for, and it's pissing me off.
That's funny. So my number 2 is found at the Rose and Crown Pub over in the UK Pavilion, and it is going to be a diesel. I was told by one of the amazing bartenders from the UK that it is called a diesel in her part of the UK. And what it is it is a snake bite. So that is going to be half Harp Lager and half Strongbow apple cider. And then you put a little black currant in it, and it is just, oh my goodness. We have talked many times about mine and Matt's love for the ones that are on the Skyliner, the resorts that are on the Skyliner.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you get off the Skyliner and you come into the Epcot back entrance there, you're between France and UK. My kids, like, it's not even a question. We walk into Epcot, even if we're going to go to France, they know that they got to stand on the top of the bridge while Daddy walks down to Rosencrown. Like, the moment, like, it could be 9 in the morning, and if Rosencrown's door is open, I'm going in. And after fireworks, it's one of the few places that continues to serve. So you can typically, the park is technically closed. It's been closed for 40 minutes. Rosencrown will serve you one. You can go sit out on their back terrace overlooking the lake. Last year, we were there for my birthday. We were kind of run down for the day. My whole family went back to the resort, and I straight up left all of them, went to Epcot because we spent the day in Hollywood Studios. I went to Epcot just to get one of these and then go sit down on the lake to enjoy the nice evening breeze and just the serenity and calm that is kind of that area of the park, enjoying one of my favorite drinks. Like, because my wife was like, well, what do you want to do on your birthday? It's like, I'm getting on the Skyliner. She's like, okay, bye. Enjoy your snake bite. I was like, that's right.
So Shannon chimed in. She goes, what if my husband won't stop long enough for me to even drink a beverage? So, do you have any advice for Shannon?
Do what I did, Shannon. Just be like, all right, I'll meet you at that next thing. I'm going to go over here and grab my drink. I have also been known to get lost in Appleseed Orchard during Food and Wine Festival for an appreciable amount of time.
All right. Before we move on, if you want to submit an idea for the top 3 show, you can go over to the website, patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Up in the right-hand corner, you can check that out, and you can... Shit. Maybe he and I need to take a business trip. Go up in the top right-hand corner, and you can submit a top 3 question. We actually got one from a viewer last week that we are going to work into the show. I think we're going to use it as this week's client question, though, because it's a pretty good one, and I don't know that we would have a top 3 necessarily for it. So
I'll try to come up with 3 things.
So my number 2, I can't find it, but there's something close. So I wonder if they changed it. So over at Space 220, it's called the Nebula. So it was
it's
a
the one with the ice
whiskey
cream sandwich.
No. That's the Big Tang.
Oh, okay.
The Nebula was the one that had kind of like the Angostura bitters in the star at the bottom of it. It's Maker's Mark pineapple, honey, and passion fruit. And then it's a good drink. It's just not the same as the one that was there last year. But no, if you want to go over and find some cool drinks, there's a lot of places to find some really cool drinks. You got Trader Sam's, you've got Space 220, you've got a lot of different places if you want some of those exotic drinks. So my number 2 is going to be the Nebula. That was I think it was called the Galaxy Cosmo is what I got.
Yeah, I was remembering something being called the Galaxy like that, and I don't see it on their menu. I jumped over there real quick while you were talking about it. Let's just talk about also, like, any drink that you're having at Space 220 is, pardon the pun, like, it is an out-of-the-world experience. It really, because, I mean, we had my kids convinced that they were on... like, they were on a little space station until like a solid 20 minutes in that restaurant.
No, I mean, it gives you all the feels. I mean, you walk in, the elevator is really cool. It's an awesome effect. The huge screen in the restaurant is an awesome effect. I mean, it really makes you feel like you left and you're on this little like space station for dinner. It's pretty cool.
Really cool.
So yeah, so my number 2, I'll go with the Nebula, but I'm pretty sure it was that Galaxy Cosmo that it had before. There was another. They've changed this menu up quite a bit since last year because there's only a couple. The Big Tang and the Atmos Spirits are really the only ones I remember because of the cotton candy that they melt in that one drink. So.
Yeah, Jesse and I got one, and I think it was the Big Tang, that it was Tang infused agave nectar. No, there was one. Oh, it was a coffee. Here, it was. Oh, see, I don't see it. Where's the coffee? Hold on. There was a drink there. It was crazy. It was like coffee, but then they had like a Kahlua foam. Like it was straight up foamed, and I'm not seeing it on the menu anymore either. Like that thing was crazy. Like just taking it, taste the foam, like whoa, this got some stuff going on.
All right, anyway. Before we get into our number ones, where can people find you?
Really, right here on Tuesdays at 7:15. So Facebook, yep, is the best way, and just type in Princess and the Mouse Travel or Disney Travel Agent, and you should see me standing in front of Expedition Everest with my family. Obviously, you can go in through our Wix site and fill out a form there if you'd like me to contact you as well. But directly through Facebook allows you to send me a straight messenger, and obviously those notifications are on my phone versus waiting for the form to come through and get over to me and everything like that. So, yeah, there you go.
There you
Love
go.
to help you out.
So let's get into our number one. So Peter, what is your number one alcoholic drink at Walt Disney World?
All right. It is more my wife's number one drink. I have enjoyed it, but I will typically fall off to something else when we go to this place. But we just talked about Space 220 and its out-of-the-world experience. So I will go with another out-of-the-world experience, and I will head over to Oga's Cantina, of course, over in Hollywood Studios. So first of all, inside of Oga's Cantina, similar to Space 220, you've got a wide variety of special cocktails. There is the T16, which is essentially a grasshopper. So it's got like some mint vibes to it. It's got some cream in there, and that's a great drink. The Yub Nub is some Malibu with some various juices. Great, great drinks. But a drink that you will not get anywhere. Like, I would love for you to tell me, oh, no, I totally had that here. Like, you're not going to get it anywhere, is the Fuzzy Tauntaun. The Fuzzy Tauntaun. And there is a video from when Matt and I did go on our business trip, Shannon, of Matt, like, we recorded it because I wanted to get his his reaction to this thing. So in terms of a drink, it's essentially like a screwdriver. In terms of what's going on inside of the drink, it's some citrus, and I can't remember if it's rum or vodka, but that's not the star of the show. The star of the show is this foam that they put on top. And the foam is a numbing foam, and it's incredibly, like, go search on Amazon and try to find a numbing foam, and you're gonna be taking all sorts of places to enjoy. And
again, this may or may not be used against us in the quarter law at a future date.
So, it's wild. Like, you take a drink and your lips start to go numb, and depending on how into your tongue starts to go numb, and it is a wild experience to do. So I am going to say, if you out there are looking for a unique drink and you have not been to Oga's Cantina, when you arrive, your first drink has to be the Fuzzy Tauntaun, and then feel free to move off to something that maybe suits your desires a little bit more. So there you go. That is my number one alcoholic beverage at Walt Disney World.
Well, you made that show.
We didn't bring up any in Magic Kingdom. It was weird.
Yeah, you made the show really easy, because that's my number one as well. No, so you made me have to find another number one, and there's a drink that I go to all the time, and it's kind of common drink, I guess, but it's got a really neat spin on it. And it's going to be the Italian margarita. And we're back over at Epcot in the Italy Pavilion at Tutto Gusto, the restaurant there in Italy. And it is a margarita, but with limoncello and just a very, very unique light flavor to it. Frozen and just a good drink. I mean, when we talk about Epcot, we could literally go pavilion to pavilion and say, this is my favorite drink here, this is my favorite drink here, this is my favorite drink here. And we could have done a whole show just on drinks at Epcot. We probably will at some point.
Except for China.
What? Yeah.
Except for China. Like, I'm going to take a jasmine.
But yeah, I mean, you think about all the unique things that you can get around the world, and then especially when Food and Wine comes in, you basically triple that with what they bring in for Food and Wine. So just the possibilities there are fantastic. But when it does come to drinking, you do have limitations. Right now, Magic Kingdom is very limited on what you can get. You can start getting beverages at some of the sit-down restaurants. Have you gotten a beverage at a sit-down restaurant?
So Mama Melrose, I was thinking along this lines because I think I've had what you were talking about there. Mama Melrose in Hollywood Studios also has Mama's Margarita, and it's exactly what Matt's talking about. So you can get it in a couple of different parks. We didn't give any credit over to Animal Kingdom at all in this area, and I don't know. I guess it would behoove us to say if you go over to Grog's Grotto in Pandora, you can get some pretty unique cocktails and beers. You can essentially get the Night Blossom, basically spiked, which is a really, really cool slush drink. So because none of our top three included that, I do want to just, you're kind of talking about Magic Kingdom. You're right. It's just limited to like ciders and beers and a couple cocktails at their sit-down restaurants where they can control you.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, Animal Kingdom also has a wide variety of places as well. They also have a unique beer called the Tusker Lager that's only available. It's straight up brewed for Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
So-
and we didn't give any love to any of the resort restaurants as well.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I mean,
yeah, we could have done a whole thing on the whole the Snow White, the Artist Point.
yeah, we could have done Artist Point. We could have done the Enchanted Rose. We could have done Grog Grotto, Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. I mean, there's a lot when you get outside the parks too, and then you have all of Disney Springs, which is a whole nother ball of wax because you've got places like the Edison, and they've got freaking 4 bars in that restaurant.
They really do.
So if you want to go down, and this is a good one to say, if you want to go down to Disney as an adult, there is a whole hell of a lot to do as an adult in Disney.
Chef Art Smith's moonshine cocktails are like the strongest, and they come in these like asinine thermoses that you can take back and refill for like a $4 discount. Like, yeah, there's just it always, like when people say, "Oh, I can't believe you and your wife spend your anniversary there," I'm like, I can't believe you've never thought of going to Disney as an adult without kids.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, one more time. Where can people find you, Peter?
I don't even know at this point. Find me on Facebook. I would love to help you out. And like Matt and I were just talking about, whether you're figuring out something for your family or you're just going down. Like I have a couple going down here in 2 weeks that it's just them. And the first time they went down, they worked with me as their travel agent. Well, they went a whole bunch when their kids were kids. And now their kids are grown up, and so they've gone down, and they got me to plan a trip for them, and I sent them to a whole bunch of restaurants that they had no idea even existed. So I would love to help you plan your trip down to, well, Walt Disney World is obviously a specialty, but really anywhere, whether it be a Disney park or even other things as well. So
yeah, so lots of lots of things going on. So, thanks for joining us tonight for Disney's DPI Top 3. We'll see you guys next week on the show. We are going to go ahead and get into this week's client question. So let me go ahead and flip over to that screen.
Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning.
All right, so this week's client question was actually submitted as a top 3. And the reason I'm going to do this as a top 3 is because most of our spring breaks don't make it to Easter. So this client question is, what are the top 3 things to do at Easter at the parks? So, you know, it's really, Easter falls in kind of that secondary holiday market when it comes to the parks. You know, I kind of lump it in with like what they do for Thanksgiving and the 4th of July, except you don't get the extra fireworks and those types of holidays. You do get some special characters, you do get some special meals and that kind of stuff around the park. But it is relatively limited when it comes to what they change for Easter. So, Peter, you get down there a little bit closer to Easter. You know, what have your experiences been?
Well, right off the top of my head, there's a couple of things. So, in all of the festivals over at Epcot, whether it be Food and Wine or Flower and Garden, there's always these scavenger hunts, right? So during Food and Wine, you're going to find Remy with various ingredients. During Flower and Garden, you're going to find Spike the Bee with various flowers, and they're going to be all around. And basically what you do is you peel and stick the correct sticker with the appropriate location on your little park map. And if you complete it, inside tip, you can literally just pick this prize up when you buy the map. You don't actually have to bring it completed back. So you can just get the prize and then let your kids complete it. That way, if they don't complete it, you don't have to make a second stop. But ultimately, these scavenger hunts have like little special prizes. So we have tons of sandwich boxes, cups, all these sorts of like little things. I've got a little candy dish sitting on my built-in in the living room, and they've all come from these little scavenger hunts. Well, during the approximately 3 to 4 weeks before Easter, they will put up, in addition to Spike the Bee, because Flower and Garden's going on, they'll also put up a Easter egg scavenger hunt where the eggs are big giant eggs, and they are decorated like your favorite Disney characters. And so as you go around to these different places, you'll peel the egg sticker and put it in the appropriate location. And just like all the other scavenger hunts, kind of a unique little souvenir to say, yay, look, I did it. The other thing that comes to my mind is the Grand Cottage over at Grand Floridian. So during Christmas, the Grand Floridian puts, it's essentially like a little snack stand in its lobby. And during Christmas time, it's a gingerbread house. And during Easter time, it's this little spring cottage. And at this little cottage, you can purchase very specific springtime Easter themed treats, little snack cakes and other little things like that. So those are the two main things that I can speak that Disney does. On top of that, the rest of it's just kind of like you can pay to get things delivered to your room. Well, they have special Easter ones during that time of year. You can go to different snack stands around the park, and they'll have like specific Easter themed treats. But really, outside of that, nothing big or showy in terms of my mind coming to mind. Is there anything that you've seen down there, Matt?
Really, the things that I've seen are more like, you know, they'll have an Easter Bunny and a Mrs. Easter Bunny meet and greet, usually Easter weekend. And then past that, maybe a different dance troupe in the parade, the Festival of Fantasy parade. They might have the flowers or something like that in that parade. So like I said, very much handled like a secondary holiday. And then also about probably here in the next few weeks, we'll start getting an idea of like a brunch menu of some of the restaurants, the resort restaurants and some Disney Springs restaurants that will be offering an Easter brunch that will be special for that weekend.
Will.
What's that?
I know Steakhouse 71 at Contemporary will, and I'm not sure of the others, but I do know that they'll have an Easter brunch. Yeah, and then on top of that, like, you can make Easter special. We've been down there on Easter Day, and the Easter Bunny dropped an Easter basket off at our hotel. And if you go, it doesn't, I'm trying to remember where we got it from. I can't remember if the gift shop had it or if we had to go talk to the guests, like the hotel front desk. But they just, like, we bought a couple of things from the shop, and then we asked, hey, do you have any baskets? We're like, oh, absolutely, here you go. And they just gave us some baskets because they knew exactly what we were trying to do. And then I forget, I think the kids were at the pool, and I snuck all the stuff back to the room and then hid it behind the floor-length curtains. And then after they went to bed, I think I set it out. So
there you go.
Like that. But hopefully
so
there's
Kate,
no little kids watching this show.
Kate, a few things that you can do around the parks at Easter, and if you have any other questions, definitely reach out to one of us and we will be able to answer any specific questions that you have. If you do have a question for this segment of the show, definitely go on the website patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com, and up in that top right hand corner there's a question box that you can submit your question to us and we will answer it live on the show. Again, Peter, thank you for joining us this week on the show. Do you have anything else before we get out of here?
I saw, just back because apparently I wasn't on the show yet, in the very beginning of the show you talked about, I saw an eBay ending bid of $119 for 4 ounces of Splash Mountain water, which, by the way, they just have a pump to that giant lagoon around Tom Sawyer Island, the rivers of the world. That's where the water comes from for Splash Mountain. So this is the most asinine thing I've ever seen in the history of entertainment and theme parks. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right, so we're going to end on that. Thank you guys all for watching tonight. Have a good week. Hey, Peter with Princesses and the Mouse. Disney Travel joined us this week. Talked a little Splash Mountain, top 3 on our favorite alcoholic beverages. Definitely want to check those out. You want to find us on social media, you can check us out at a lot of different places, but the easiest ones on Facebook at DPI Podcast for the podcast, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel side. Over on Twitter, you can find us at Disney Insights. You found us on YouTube, and on Instagram, we are at Princesses and the Mouse. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, supporting, liking, sharing, everything that you guys do. Have a wonderful week. Be safe, and we will talk to you next week. Bye now.